So we're finally going to tackle the adjustable rear suspension on the Crown Vic. Got to get it jacked up, get the wheels taken off. This is what we're looking at. So essentially this is a coilover spring. Could be used on any coilover kit. These are Viking 175 pound springs. We'll see how 175 pound works. If it's too loose, we can change springs out easily. I think I actually have a pair of 225s over in the shelf, but I'm guessing that would be too stiff. So the magic to all of this is these adjustable posts right here, that this gets welded onto the axle housing where the old spring mount is at, and then you have these big adjustable bases. So that's going to sit like that. This is a factory Crown Vic spring isolator, which fits absolutely perfectly in that spring. So we'll get her jacked up, wheels off. The Moog, we're going to take the Moog springs out and get this set up, put in there. So in about 5 minutes worth of work, we've made it this far. Thanks to our trusty Milwaukee tools. Let go. Rear shocks are loose, and we let the rear axle down. Hey, Mr. Airplane. Let's see. So I put some energy suspension urethane isolators in here. Step on this one. There we go. So there's a new Moog spring. I say new because it's only got a few thousand miles on it. Upper isolator. The lower isolators didn't fit very good, so I kind of had to force them. There we go. So that's that. Go grab one of those threaded stubs, bud. If you could, please. Okay. So this guy literally goes right there. If you can see that. So before I weld this up, we'll grab a spring and see where we're going to be. And we'll decide if we want this sitting on in the hole, or if we need to have it standing up before we weld it. But we'll look into that and then get back to it. Okay, so it looks like after some experimenting that we'll have plenty of adjustability with these posts and these adjusters. And what we did was we took a 1/2 inch thick nut and dropped it down in that pocket where the spring mount is at, for this to sit on to hold it in place whilst we get that tacked into position. And then we should be able to put this guy back together. This is just bare steel, so you're going to want to put some kind of grease or anti-seize on those threads when you go back together for real. So I got this here white craw can, cut the end off of it, and then plus I split it. When we go to weld this, I'm gonna wire this onto this post to cover it so that we don't get any welding spatter on the threads. Even though we're going to be working in this range up here, still want to try and keep the threads nice. So we got the adjustable posts welded in. Squirted a little world famous black Rust-Oleum on there to keep the welds from rusting. The white craw can worked perfectly for protecting the threads. So we are ready to clean up a little bit and slam this thing back together. So that's what it looks like assembled. Gonna jack the axle up just to where we can slip the shock bolts back in. Let's go ahead and do that now, bud.
Too high or too low?
No, we need to.
That's almost good. A little bit higher.
A little bit. So we're still not sure what we're going to do for rear shocks on this thing. I really don't want to spend the $400 on the Nake QA1 rear shocks. That's a lot of money for. I mean, it's $200 a shock. I can do that kind of simple math. So I want to put a good quality shock on there, not just a regular old Gabriel or Monroe replacement. But like I said, I just don't know if I want to spend the tall dollars on $200 a piece QA1s that are adjustable. We'll see though. So we're gonna go ahead and put the wheels back on and tighten those up, jack it up, get it off the jack stands, and see where we're at. We did a lot of careful planning and math and wizardry with the old tape measure there to try and get this about right out of the box, which we're trying to get just a little bit taller than it was before with the Moog springs. The Moog springs looked really good, but they ran out of travel really quick. Alright, so we got them adjusted. It's done. Isaac's got to run to school so we can do the test ride. We came up a half an inch in the back. When we do the front coilovers, man, this thing's loud. When we do the coilovers in the front, we'll come up a half inch there too, which should level it out and have a little bit more suspension travel. Just got back from a quick rip around the patch from Rite Aid and hit some pretty good bumps. And man, I can't believe how much better it is. 175 pound spring rate seems to be much more matched to this car than whatever those Moog spring rate was, which I'm not sure what it is. I think I read somewhere online that a factory Crown Vic, I don't know if it's the Police Interceptor or the regular Crown Vic, has a 160 pound spring in the back of it. But for whatever reason, that Moog spring, it just ran out of travel so fast, which of course gave you a pretty rough ride. This is so much closer to stock. if not better than stock, even with the 60,000 mile, curb rid factory shocks, if you will. But anyways, it's time to get the front done. Might be a week or two yet. Gonna be busy with some other things this weekend, but big surprise coming on the front. If you have any questions on installing the UPR Mustang adjustable rear spring kit onto a Crown Vic, you know where to put the questions. We'll see you on the next one.